I guess the obvious place to start is kind of the dynamic of your relationship, because you had worked before in Divergent as brother and sister.
That is
and
the
now,
obvious question.
Yeah, and now you're going to this romantic, and then you're going to go back as you continue kind of the series. There's this weird like Luke Leia kind of thing that kind of, I guess, goes through that. How weird is that, I guess, to shift the dynamic? And is it more comfortable to have gone from one to the other, or is it still kind of...
It's not really weird at all. I mean, it's kind of normal. It's like what we do it as actors, you know. We're just professional.
And it's not Luke Leia, because Luke Leia are like, it's in the same movie, you know, the same people. It would be weird if
I all of a sudden
Beatrice
in the next
and
movie like
Caleb,
started making out with them.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
that
hey,
would be weird.
four.
Exactly. Be like, wait, I'm Caleb. No, but that's the whole point. It's like that would be weird. But ideally, when you see this movie, and so people have said, you don't think about Divergent at all. Just because we're playing such different characters, we're not in a dystopian world, or everything is different about these guys. So it's like you don't even think about it, and especially we don't think about it.
There's the coping mechanisms of people with cancer, particularly in this film, in this age group, is kind of split, and it shows in the two characters being kind of polar opposites. Very, I guess, Shawshank Redemption, and it's kind of one is get busy living, and the other is kind of get busy dying. She's kind of wallowing in what she has. She's depressed. She doesn't want to do anything, and Augustus is very fearless. So can I guess you talk about in doing your research and prepping for the characters, kind of what you found in how people deal with, a very real, very heavy situation where the outcome isn't very, very positive, or the odds, at least, aren't very good in their favor.
Well, the great news is actually the odds are kind of more in their favor now than they ever have been with science and technology, which is a beautiful thing. Thank God for medicine. And meeting people, every single person is so different. All of our minds and our hearts are wired differently. And so there's not like a formula as to how people react. It's really like subject to subject, person to person, individual opinion versus other individual opinion. And the one thing that I did find that was very aligned with all of them, or all of the people that I've met and that I've known, is that all of a sudden the fear of death doesn't necessarily get erased, but the celebration of life becomes more prominent. And I think that is a gift that we receive, that somebody receives when you all of a sudden maybe have a countdown on your life.
Yeah, and in terms of like coping mechanisms, I think that one could say that Augustus is fearless, but the idea is that in the beginning of the film he seems like he is, but it's really a front, and he is actually very, very fearful of dying without leaving his mark, and Hazel helps him overcome that, and like he needs Hazel toward the end of his life. He needs Hazel because he's a very, very scared boy.
We'll talk about making your mark. Is it a matter of kind of perspective and experience kind of from one age group as it moves into the other? Because you're talking about living this extraordinary life and being memorable and being remembered, but it's kind of a failure in recognizing the scope. He thinks it's this grand thing where the people that are really remembering him and the greatest things he's doing is touching these lives on a much smaller scale. So I mean, did you find it to be because of the age group or the age that he's in, that's kind of why he felt that way?
Yeah, I mean it's like an idealistic way of thinking about things, right? Everyone wants to be, not everyone, but especially at a young age, like you're told that like success is what you want, and you want to change the world. And then as you get older, you realize that I think like now I'm realizing, even if you do like leave a mark, what's the big deal? Like as Hazel says, oblivion's inevitable. There's going to come a day when no one knows who Mozart is anyway. So, if Mozart's not going to be remembered in a few more 100 years, then who cares? I think it's a natural thing for young people to have. So it's realistic that John writes Augustus feeling that way.
There's also this ultimate don't meet your hero kind of moment when they finally get to meet Van Houten. Did you ever experience anything like that to kind of draw from, where you were like, you went into a situation thinking this is going to be awesome, and then you met somebody and it wound up being completely different kind of, not to this level or this extent, but something that you can kind of draw personal experience from to make it authentic?
Thankfully not. Yeah, I haven't met any of my heroes that, were bad people or something. I once heard a funny story of someone said that they were like a long time ago, obviously a big fan of Mickey Mantle, a huge fan, and they waited outside of Yankee Stadium for him to show up. And when he finally did, they ran over to him, Mickey, can I have an autograph? And Mickey Mantle spat on the kid. And after Mickey Mantle left, he said, "Oh my God, Mickey Mantle spat on me." So, I mean, Augustus and Hazel are much more real, and I think that they're not obsessed with Van Houten. They're just, Hazel's obsessed with this book, and they're more, they don't idolize Van Houten in that way. So when he does sort of spit on them, they're sort of like, screw you, man, we don't need you anymore. What we have here is more important.
Okay. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.